Hi, everyone. I'm Teresa Lisum, and I'm coming you today with my amazing guest co-host, Stephanie Bucklin, and we're evolving women. I'm evolving, you're evolving, we're all evolving. We're on this journey of evolution together. And to help with that journey, we're here to share uplifting messages, offer new perspectives, maybe some tools, some resources, maybe different wellness ideas, mindset shifts, maybe plant some new seeds so that we all evolve faster. We're also here to give you permission to be your best self. So, welcome. We're so glad you're here. Have you ever seen something as a failure and maybe gave up on it, but then maybe tried it later and it turned out to be the best thing ever? Well, we're going to explore that as our starting point today with Stephanie. Thank you so much for being here, Stephanie. We are delighted to have you here.
Thank you, Teresa. I'm super excited to get into this conversation.
So I'm going to just turn it over to you because I know you have a little bit of a journey where you did experience some failure and you just kind of let it go and came back around to it, where some of us would have done something once, because I've done this, and it didn't work out. And I just like, oh, that was no good. And I tossed it aside instead of coming back around to it, maybe in a new form or. So I'd love to hear your story if you'd please share it with us and our viewers.
Absolutely. So it all started in 2008. I wrote a business plan for my dream business. And I kept on developing and kept on building. And the basis of the business was to heal the world. I have this motto,
Mhm.
fighting for love and healing the world one person at a time.
Love
And
that.
so this was my motto that I went on from there on. And I thought, okay, I'm going to build a wellness center. It's going to be amazing. So I wrote that beautiful business plan, 65-page business plan.
Wow.
The very first financial advisor I talked to about that plan, he said, "Sweetheart, I love your drive and your stamina and your perseverance, but you're not going to start a multi-million-dollar company." And I was like, "Why not?" And he
Mm.
said, "Because it's just not going to start like that. It's going to be a small business and you'll
Mm.
grow it to the larger business." I was like, "Oh, okay, I understand." So I kept going and kept talking to people. And I met this gentleman. I was at a Chamber of Commerce meeting, 8 o'clock in the morning. It was one of those breakfast things.
Yep,
And
yep.
he loved my spunk and my passion and said, "I want to be your investor. I'm going to invest in your company. Let's do this." And I was like, "Okay." So he invested in my company, called it the Holistic Wellness Community Center of Ventura, started in 2014, and started with very little money. He gave me about $7,000 to start with, but I made it go. And I ran that beautiful company. We had so many beautiful things that we did. I started doing events. I had a workshop. I had a group program that I ran. It was so good. I helped about 1,000 people in that whole process. By the time
Nice.
we got to the end of it, though, 2016, unfortunately, I had become homeless. And
Mm.
my homelessness kind of bled into my business. So I ended up
Mm.
having to close the business. And at the time, oh, it broke my
Oh,
heart.
I'm sure it did.
Was so sad. It was the worst thing ever. I was just so depressed.
Mhm.
And I stayed with that for about a year. I was very, very sad. I
Mm.
thought, never again. I'm broken. I can't ever do a business again. I'm just going to give up.
Mhm.
And yet I had this instinct that I would come back and I would do it again. And I probably would do it in a different format. Just didn't know how or when. So I just kept going, kept working for other people and kept thinking about it and kept growing and building my own understanding of how to run a business, how to be a
Mhm.
successful business owner, all that. And I ended up moving to Arizona and came upon the ASU entrepreneurship department and ended up with several mentors who reignited my flame and said, "This
Mm.
is an amazing business idea. You've got a great business model. You've got to do this. this is something that I know, they listen to me. They know that I'm passionate about wellness.
Mm-hmm.
They know that I'm passionate about healing the world. They know that I want to help people. So they're looking at it like, this is perfect. Why are we not doing this? Let's do this. So I gave it another shot. In
That's
2020, I found some mentors. 2021, I found a business partner. 2022, I tried to produce an event and it was the end of the pandemic and people were like not coming. So
yeah.
another little bit of a failure, but really what I learned from that experience was it's about the timing. It's about recognizing when people are ready for something. And so I really looked at it and thought, what if I produced it virtually? What if
Mm-hmm.
it was a different model? And ultimately, what has happened with this business model, I took the original idea and turned it on its head and started it over from a completely different business model, a different perspective, and it's working. It's
Oh
actually
man.
working. I've got paying members. I've got people signed up for my workshops every month. I've got people coming to everything. It's been such a wonderful experience. And you know what I learned, Teresa? People weren't ready. In 2014,
Mm.
I am definitely a visionary. I was seeing the future.
Oh yeah.
And back then, people couldn't see what I could see. Now, they talk to almost any healer and they're like, "Oh my God, I had the same idea. I think that's
Mm.
amazing. We're going to collaborate. Let's do this together." That's not
Mm-hmm.
the message I got back then is so different. So I know that it was the wrong timing, but I also know that those 2 years in business and the failure at the end was probably one of the most important learning experiences of my life. Because as I was saying before we hit record, it's the failures that we learn from. It's the
Mm.
failures as entrepreneurs. If you can remove your ego and
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
remove your emotional attachment to whatever the failure was and start to look at it from the perspective of how can I grow from this? How can I change my perspectives on how I did it the first time so that I can do it better the second time and maybe
Mm.
even better the third time because you know what? You're going to fail
Mm-hmm.
again and it's okay.
Oh my gosh, I love that. So many things in this that you just brought up. First of all, congratulations on redoing, revamping your persistence, staying with it, trying it again. I mean, that's fabulous. I'm so delighted for you. And you talked about one person, like one person believed in you that first time and you started it and with his, belief supporting you and helping you, I'm sure, and his money, that really got you going. And then this time it sounds like you had some people as well that the universe brought to you, I'm sure at the right time in the right place.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah. It's been really beautiful. And I really love the idea of collaboration. That's something that, from the very beginning, I felt is the key to
Hmm.
building this beautiful business. And I think back then people were still in their competitive energy.
Hmm.
They couldn't see the benefit of collaboration. So collaboration, I think, is where we're going,
Oh
is our
my gosh,
future.
yeah. I love collaboration. And I have to say my lighting is really getting weird here. Look at so it's like I'm moving around like sorry about that. But I love that you kept moving forward. You maybe put it in the back burner for a little bit, but deep down you knew it was something that might be good to pull out, out of your back pocket down the road. And it was all about timing, just timing. You were getting prepped, you were getting more education, maybe more confident, maybe more skill set. So things were happening for you, not against you. And I think sometimes we forget that. We think that, oh, this is not supposed to be that I can't do this. I'm not lucky, all the stuff we tell ourselves. And
Right,
you
right.
kept it, sounds like you kept it, um, you know, a viable idea that you knew deep down you could do it. But did you have self-doubts? Did you have some self-talk? Maybe that's doesn't happen for
Yeah.
you, but
That year of sadness, depression, there was a lot of self-doubt. After I closed the business, I spent the entire year of 2017 homeless. I
mm,
lived in an RV and a trailer for the first 6 months, and the last 3 months of the year, I was actually living in a tent.
oh
So
my
that was a
goodness.
pretty rough
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
and in
Wow.
that time, yes, self-doubt, depression, anxiety, so much stress. Uh, I ended up at the end of that year, what really brought me out of it was getting accepted to ASU.
Well,
I
that was going to be
applied.
my question. What pulled you out of that?
Yeah, I
But
applied and I got a letter from ASU saying you're accepted. I got accepted to the program and I called my mother that day and said, Mom, I need to come home because I just got accepted to college. I want to really do this right. So she said, Yes, sweetie, come home. And I spent a year with her, building myself back up and getting back into my own confidence and really understanding that I
mm,
have value as a person, that I can
mm-hmm,
contribute to society, you know.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that, this vision really, it's a beautiful vision. And the collective and the whole idea, it's a very long vision. I could see it
Mm,
growing globally and
mm.
little integrative wellness collective, either chapters or wellness centers popping up all over the world. So all I really have to do is keep going.
Right. You use your persistence, your drive, yeah, and keep it going. And again, I applaud you. I mean, you really did sound like you hit rock bottom, where some
Yeah.
people would stay there. I mean, who
Yeah.
even some people might not even think to apply to a university or a college. Like, why bother? You just can't get out of that energy. That energy
Yeah.
keep you down unless you
Definitely.
are lucky enough to connect with somebody or somebody, like something was brought into your life to bring you out of it. But it sounds like you were able to do it on your own.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've had a lot of trials and tribulations throughout the years, Teresa, but every single time I am reminded how strong I am, how resilient I am. And, everything I've been through, I can just point back to different periods of my life where I pulled myself out of whatever I was suffering with.
Mm,
And I see that, there's no reason for me to stay stuck or stagnant. I
mm.
can choose to move forward and continue to grow and learn. And yeah,
That is so inspiring. Like I said, because I know personally some people that can't tell themselves that or
yeah,
haven't been able to in the past. It took them a really long time to get out of that funk. But
yeah. I mean, it really counts. Having positive people around you
oh,
really
for sure.
matters.
Yeah, yeah.
I listen to affirmations every morning. That's something that really
Me
helps with my
too.
positive
Yep.
attitude.
Yep.
And there's a bunch of YouTube channels online that you can access with those positive affirmations. Oh, so many great resources to help you stay
Yeah.
positive and focused.
Yeah. It's
Great books. Yeah.
fairly easy now, to access that stuff, but I love that you bring that up. Just surrounding ourselves with positive people, positive content, positive words that you can read, positive affirmations. I know not everybody believes in the power of affirmations, but
Oh, they work.
repetition, 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 sinks into your brain. That's how we get some of those thoughts and beliefs. They're negative, but they've been repeated so many times that they do become real to us. And if you can
Right.
do it in a negative way, why can't you do it in a positive way? And
Absolutely.
retrain your brain. So,
Absolutely.
eh,
Yeah. There's been some really great books that I've read over the last 6 months. One of them was Atomic Habits
oh
by
yeah,
James Clear.
yeah, yeah,
Oh, what a great book.
yeah.
He talked about this concept called habit stacking, which
Mm-hmm.
I had never heard of. And I realized that I do it. And I was like, wait a minute. So what other habits can I stack with these habits that are positive habits that are helping me to keep keep my health and keep my positive mindset and keep my focus on what I'm
Mm-hmm.
creating, all of that. Yeah.
And
All of that is
I was just going to say,
great.
some of the stuff that we read or hear, it's just reminding us. Yes, you like I said, you were already doing it. And I found myself sometimes when I read something or hear something like, oh, yeah, I've done that, or I didn't realize I was doing that. But it's just like that other person is bringing it into your awareness, reminding you. And yeah, and it's really makes you feel really good, like, oh, yeah, I do that. But you said that you're resilient. I think all of us are resilient. We might just forget it, like, oh, yeah, no, I can't. Yes, you can, and the choice has to be made by you. You said you made a choice to move forward. That's vitally important. You make that choice,
Most
make that
definitely.
decision, and some people just don't realize it's that easy. I'm going to say it's easy, but then you do have to take action to move forward. But that decision is kind of like the switch that flips you on and, allows you to move forward.
Yep. Yep. And I was definitely interested in pursuing support. So, in addition to surrounding myself with the positive people, it was looking for mentors that
Mm-hmm.
could help me with the things I was struggling with. Because, every business owner struggles with different things in our business.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really like, how do you find answers? Where do you look for those answers? Sometimes YouTube videos are not the best place. Sometimes you need one-on-one support.
Right, right. A real person.
Yeah, and there
Yeah.
are free support systems out there. If you're a business owner,
Mm-hmm.
there's an organization called SCORE that is
Mm-hmm.
in almost every major city, and you can go
Yeah.
and talk to a mentor, and you can even specify what kind of mentor you're looking for. If it's finance or business development or operations or so these are great things. The resources that are out there are fantastic for business owners. But
And
women in general, look at Meetup.
mm-hmm.
Go into those Facebook groups that are relevant to your passions, the things that you love to do. Find your people, find your tribe.
Right, right. And it may take some effort. You might not do it like today. It might take you a little bit of time and investigation and exploration. But yeah, it's definitely doable. I did it for myself. I'm kind of on a little bit on that now. I'm in a new physical area, physical location. And I did that, in the online realm. And it does take some effort, but yeah, there's definitely other people out there that are like-minded for all of us, I think. There's many people are the right people, but when you know who your right people are, that's very helpful if
Yes.
you kind of figure out who your right people are. So, but yeah, I so applaud you for where you were and where you're at in your journey. And I love that you lean into the fact that you are a visionary. I think that's important for people to realize who they are, like what they
Yes.
have to offer the world. And yes, I'm a visionary, and you own it, and then that's what pulls you forward. I'm a
Yeah.
positive person, and it took me a while to own that and understand the power of that because not everybody's like that. Not everybody's a visionary. Not every, they can't
Right.
see the long term. And so,
Yeah.
like somebody such as myself could use you to hold that vision for me if I can't see it
Absolutely.
myself.
Exactly. It's the beauty of
Mm-hmm.
the support system. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think in our country, in the States, sometimes I think we're taught or we think mistakenly that we need to do things on our own. I don't know where we got that from. Maybe from the early generations when they, were taking
Yeah.
over this country. I don't know.
Right. Taught about competition in school, thinking that that's
Yeah,
the only
yeah.
way of navigating through life.
Yes,
And it's just not
exactly.
true.
And some people feel really proud when they can do things independently on their own. But that's really, I mean, people love people. I mean, that's what we're here for. It's
Yeah.
the social connection. And I know for me personally, I need that social connection on a regular basis. And if I don't get it, my energy drops considerably. Um,
Yes, me too.
but that's something you need to learn about yourself and understand about yourself. So, for our viewers, don't think you have to do this alone. It may seem lonely, but there are people out there, like you said, people who can help you for free. You know, yes, you might have to do some investigating and pay some money, invest in some of your money and your time to really find people that are going to help you. But it's totally doable. I totally agree with you on that. And people love to
Yes.
help people. Those
Yes,
people
they
from the
do.
SCORE, my son-in-law used the SCORE people as well years ago. And I'm sure those people love that. You know, people love helping people. That's why there's YouTube how-tos and all,
Yeah.
people write books and because we love helping other people kind of move along
Yeah,
their journey a little bit faster.
absolutely.
Yeah, so just delightful. I absolutely love it. And I know you have a lot of things going on. You have a
That
lot.
I do.
I saw that you just recently wrote a book. That's exciting.
Yeah, I wrote actually two books. So the
Okay.
first one was based on all of the things I learned last year, and that one's called Thriving Under Pressure. It's all about stress
Mm.
mastery.
Oh,
So
love
that one's
it.
already available. It's on Amazon. That one is really more of a reference book. So the way that I wrote it was for mind, body, spirit, find the things that will work the best for you to help you resolve
Mm.
your stress. Learn some
Okay.
techniques and skills so that you can be calm and clear and thoughtful instead of
Mm.
anxious and
Right.
worried, so a lot of us are still experiencing a little bit of PTSD because of the pandemic. So that
Mm-hmm.
was the reason for that book. And
Yeah,
now this
that's
next book, because the feedback I got from that second book was she didn't tell us anything about herself. I
oh.
thought to myself, well, y'all want to know who I am? So over the last, I would say about 2 months, I've been writing a blog. And a
Mm.
lot of the blog has been about my journey, about my healing, about my process. And I realized that I have some really great material here. So I took the blog, I reorganized it and put it into a format for a book, put it into book format, and then I put out to the world, I'm looking for some advanced readers to check out this book and
Mm-hmm.
read and learn from it and give me some feedback, give me some
Mm-hmm.
reviews, advanced reviews.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also offering pre-order of that book. So it's called Awakened Living, holistic practices for mind, body, and spirit balance.
Yay. Now, are you
Um,
self-publishing that?
I
Is
am
okay.
self-publishing, yes.
Yay.
Yes. And I was just talking to a friend, another business owner, about also recording both the Stress Mastery book and this one, so it can be on Audible as well.
Oh yeah, I'm listening
Yeah.
to Mel Robbins reading her book
Well,
right now on
yeah.
Audible. And it's really, I love when the author reads the book. I think
Yeah.
that just makes it even more special. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, I hope you can make that happen. And then you have some events. You have lots of events. I'm just thinking of how our viewers can tap into what you have, your
Sure,
offerings out in the world.
sure. Well, let's see. So they can find me on my website. So stephaniebucklin.com is the easiest way to find me. You can find on that website all of my healing practices. So I'm intuitive and a Reiki master, and I help support people in their healing journey. And so there's that. There's a group Akashic Record event coming up on the 8th if you are local to Arizona. It's in Glendale. And on March 19th through 22nd, my other business, the Integrative Wellness Collective, that dream business we were talking about, is hosting the Spring Equinox Wellness Summit. So this is our fourth online summit, but our 15th annual event. So it is
Wow.
fantastic journey. And we have some really fantastic speakers coming to this event. I'm
Mm.
very, very excited. Let's see, the one off the top of my head. If you have followed Planned Parenthood, Gloria Feld created a business after she left Planned Parenthood. She was there for
Mm.
25 years as the
Wow.
executive director. When she left, she created a company called Take the Lead, and it's a nonprofit organization based in New York. She teaches women how to take the lead. And so I've been part of her cohort. I've been, educated by her, and I've got a signed copy of her book. She's fantastic.
Neat.
She is so fun. But she's going to be doing a fireside talk on Wednesday. So there's going to be a lot of really great speakers. I cannot wait to release the conference schedule. That should be coming by the end of this week.
Great. And they can access that information at your website.
My website, the integrativewellnesscollective.org website. And then I am going to be publishing also on Eventbrite, so you'll be able to find it there as well.
Okay. And we'll put links to all of this information in the show description. So you can certainly find the information there if you don't want to work too hard. I do want, before I let you go, you have a lot of titles, and some people might not totally understand some of the things. So this is just going to be a little peek, the tip of the
Okay.
iceberg. But you said you're an intuitive and an Akashic reader. Is
Akashic
that?
record. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Akashic
can you
practitioner.
just tell us a little bit
Sure.
about that?
So I started out with a certification as a holistic health practitioner. So I know all about holistic health and holistic lifestyle practices.
Mm-hmm.
With that, I learned Reiki, went through my Reiki energy healing training, and that's an attunement practice for energy. We are all
Mm-hmm.
made of energy. And so
Mm-hmm.
Reiki helps us remove energy blocks, helps us with chakra cleansing and alignment, balance. A lot of people say Reiki is very relaxing. So if you've ever
Yes.
tried a Reiki session, it can
Yes,
be
it
very
is.
soothing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have anxiety, stress, Reiki could be a great choice.
Yes.
I'm a psychic medium. I've been a psychic medium for most of my life. I had my first experience as a psychic when I was 5 years old. Just came
Wow.
out of the psychic closet in 2023. So I've been
Mm.
kind of navigating how to present myself. But in my psychic skills, I am clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsentient, and claircognizant, which basically means I have all the clairs. And
Yes.
I in that I've studied with Linda Howe for the Akashic Records practitioner certification. So that is really going a lot deeper into my psychic abilities and opening up to the Akash. So what the Akash is everything that you've said, thought, felt, experienced, or intended in this lifetime and any other lifetime.
Mm.
It is in the Akashic Records. It is like a volume of your entire life.
Mhm.
And so when you go to an Akashic practitioner, you can ask just about any question, and you can meet your guides there. You can talk to your higher self there. You can meet passed on loved ones in the Akashic Records.
Mm.
You can talk to your past lives in the Akashic Records. So if you go to a
Mm.
hypnotist that does past life regression, they're also accessing the Akashic Records. They're just doing it from a different direction.
Mhm.
So fascinating.
Oh, it sounds fascinating.
Ever since opening the Akashic Records, it has blown up my psychic ability, and everything that I
Wow.
do now is totally different than a year ago, even.
Wow. And
Yeah.
if some people viewing this or listening to this have never heard of this stuff, that's okay. Check it out, do some research, see what you can come up with. There's lots of information out there, but I remember when I first heard of that, I like, what the heck is this stuff? So that's why we're here. We're here to plant new seeds, offer you new things that you may never have heard about. I remember when I first heard about Reiki, reflexology, like those are all new words to me. I had never heard those before, and I
Yeah.
had to kind of do some investigating. So Don't feel bad if you don't understand it. That's okay. Remember, it's all about repetition.
Yeah,
The more
yeah,
you
and
hear about it,
I'm here to
yeah,
help. I'm here
yeah.
to help.
So
So
you
if
can
anybody is
certain,
looking for a soul journey, that is something that I can absolutely help with.
yeah. So feel free to connect, reach out to Stephanie and connect with her. And I'm sure she'll take you by the hand and be very kind and gentle as she leads you into one of these sessions. But it's, yeah, really interesting, fascinating stuff. And I'd love to talk about how you came out in 2023, but we're out of time now though. But maybe we could do that at another point in time
Definitely, I'd love that, Teresa.
because that's a whole nother thing. Coming
It
out,
definitely is.
I've heard people like scientists type of research people coming out of the closet and moving into the spiritual energetic realm. And it's like these two contrasting phases in their life. And I just love hearing those kind of stories. So we'll definitely have to do this again, Stephanie.
Awesome. Thank you so
So
much.
thank you. So I'm going to invite everybody to go check out Stephanie. Like I said, we'll put the links in the video description. And as a call to action, think about how many times or a particular point in time where you failed, and is it worth going back and revisiting that? Is it something that its time hasn't come yet, and it's time to maybe pull that out and try it, turning it on its head, as you said, and trying it from a new perspective and see if it works this time. Maybe the timing wasn't right back then. So that's my invitation to our viewers is think about those points in time when you supposedly failed, which is just a learning experience or
Yeah.
like just changing of direction and trajectory. And the phrase is not coming to my head, but yeah, and don't give up on something you really truly believe in deep down in you, like such as you, Stephanie. You did not give up. You kept coming back to that and pulling it out. Now you have created this beautiful business, this beautiful way of healing the world. So thank you so much for your tenacity and persistence.
Thank you, Teresa.
Okay. Thank you, Stephanie. And thank you, everybody, for listening or watching. We so appreciate you. And we'll see you the next episode. Bye bye.